Hey again, and welcome back. For those just joining, my name is Karen Jackson, and I've been employed as an artist in the animation industry for the past 8 years, and recently switched into production animation at Tangent Animation in Toronto. It is my personal goal to create space for artists to grow beyond their greatest expectations, and to help those who are struggling find a place in this industry, gain the necessary skills they may be lacking to find their dream jobs. For the purpose of this series and keeping titles short, the title Animators refers to anyone in the animation and related industries. These videos aim to provide you with some concrete knowledge for self-improvement, as well as some tips on how to socially distance yourself to keep you and our community safe. This next video is on taking a step back for your mental health. Mental health is so important, and in times like these, it's important to take a moment to breathe. Just breathe. Let's start today off with acknowledging some things that you may be feeling about this pandemic. Number one, it's scary right now. And number two, the future is also scary. That uncomfortable feeling, the tightness in your chest, sickness in your stomach, pounding in your head, this is all from the stress of COVID-19. And we're dealing with this in the ways that we know how. We're playing more video games, we're binge watching Netflix, we're finding solace in our refrigerators and our cupboards full of fatty, salty, sweet snacks that aren't so great for our health, but we feel mends the rift in our chest where our hearts lie, so as to escape and ignore this feeling, however temporarily. But I would like you to take a second to turn your attention to this uncomfortable feeling for just a moment. What you're feeling right now is grief. Grief for the way things were, grief for your inability to see your friends or family, grief for your incapacity to get your favorite coffee at Starbucks or see your coworkers every day. We all know that ignoring grief isn't good for us. When we have a relative that passes away or we're going through something traumatic, we understand that we need to seek counseling. But for this pandemic, we have not yet come to the acceptance part of our grief cycle where we understand that we need time to process and time to heal. This is new. This is scary. And many of you are losing your jobs and your livelihoods. You're being expected to still pay your bills, pay your rent with zero income coming in. Over 500,000 people have applied to EI just this month. It's a new world right now. Some of your friends, even, are getting sick, and you don't know whether it's COVID-19 or just a regular flu, and it's scary. And when we realize that it's grief that we're dealing with, we can walk ourselves through these pillars to give us a basis to understand what we're feeling. As you may already know, the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Denial is what we saw when we first heard about this disease, and it perpetuated even beyond when the disease hit American and Canadian soil. You'll often hear people saying in this stage, the virus won't affect us. It's too far. There's no way. It's not serious. Maybe you heard yourself saying these things or other people, but this is denial. Anger is what you saw when the government started closing schools and daycares and started telling people to stay at home. In this stage, you heard people saying, or yourself saying, you're making me stay at home and taking away all of my fun activities. And you're saying I can't even visit my elderly parents or go out with my friends? No way. Bargaining is next. This is when you say, okay, so if I practice this social distancing thing for like 2 weeks, everything will go back to normal, right? And then comes depression. Once you realize that this is going to take a lot longer than 2 weeks, you start feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and even fear. You start saying things like, I don't know when all of this will end or what life will look like when it actually does. Finally is acceptance. And I feel like many of us haven't quite reached the acceptance part of our grief process. Acceptance is saying, this is real, this is happening, now it's time to figure out how best to deal with the situation. In order to reach acceptance, you need to take a step back and breathe. Protect your mental strength. Focus on what you can control. You can wash your hands frequently. You can stay home and practice social distancing. You can learn how to work virtually, for those of us who are able. We all know it's not going to be easy. And I implore you to take a second and realize how privileged you are to be living in this country and to be able to socially distance yourself, as well as having a government who has been more proactive than other countries in putting certain restrictions in place. They might not be as fast as some of us want them to be, but they are still going through this process, whereas other countries didn't have that luxury. And so many people don't have the luxury to work from home, as many of us animators presently do. I want you to all know that this, like everything else, will pass. We just have to wait out the storm. We need to do our best with what resources we have available and then keep going on with our lives. There will be disruptions, but then we'll carry on. Use this as a learning opportunity to see humanity shift and change and grow, and see yourself shift and change and grow. All you can do is do your part to save even more lives by staying home and staying safe. Our community relies on you and your family staying safe and healthy. That's it for this video. Don't forget to stay home. Please stay home. Protect yourself. Only go out if it's absolutely necessary. I know you want to take your kids to the park and you want to see your families, you want to see your friends. I know it's hard. I know this is day 12, 13 for a lot of us of social distancing, but please stay home. It's imperative that you do. Interested in hearing more from me? Visit my website where you can be the first to sign up to hear about my new courses coming soon. This course will teach you all of the necessary skills that you may be lacking to find a job in this industry. I'll also send you something cool just for subscribing. Until next time, goodbye everyone. Don't forget, we can beat this.